Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we are strapping in to look at what might just be the single most significant AI release of, well, this decade so far.
No question.
We're, of course, talking about Google's launch of Gemini 3. It went live just yesterday, November 18th, 2025.
And this really isn't your standard software update. Not at all. This is what they're calling the new frontier. I mean, we've been following Demis Hassabis and Sundar Pichai's work, and they have been very clear.
Right.
Gemini 3 is meant to be a foundational leap, a huge jump in capability.
So our job today is to cut through, the flood of press releases, all the developer notes and the benchmarks to find what's actually real here for you.
Find the actionable insights.
Okay, let's unpack this then. The hype it's just off the charts. Everyone keeps using this one analogy.
I know the one you mean.
That if Gemini 2.5 was like a smart human on a really good day, then Gemini 3 is like a PhD in quantum physics.
And that kind of comparison tells you everything. We're not just taking a small step up. It feels like we're jumping to a whole new staircase.
A whole new staircase? I like that.
Exactly. And what's so critical here is the speed.
Yeah.
How fast they've deployed it. It is fully integrated from day one.
It's not a beta.
No, it's live right now in the Gemini app. It's in Search AI mode. It's available for developers immediately. This is a global rollout of their most powerful model.
I do like the shift in tone they're going for. They seem to have realized that older AIs were a little too apologetic.
Or just trying too hard to please you.
Right. And you'd get this mediocre, overly flowery answer. They're saying Gemini 3 prioritizes genuine insight. It's more direct.
Even if the answer isn't what you want to hear.
Exactly. It's a tool built for utility.
And that focus on direct, genuine utility, that really frames Google's ultimate ambition here. This has never been about building a better chatbot.
No.
It's about pushing and pushing aggressively toward AGI, artificial general intelligence.
Okay, we use that term AGI all the time. But just for clarity, let's define that huge concept right here.
Right. So AGI, artificial general intelligence, is that theoretical point where an AI can do any intellectual task a human can.
Any task.
Any intellectual task. It doesn't just specialize. It can understand, learn, and apply knowledge across a massive range of things at a human or, well, now increasingly, a superhuman level.
So with Gemini 3, the goal isn't just better search results. It's about getting to true intelligence in the machine.
Precisely. Google's summarized goal is so simple, but
Yeah.
it's breathtaking. Bring any idea to life.
Bring any idea to life.
They want us to move from just talking with an AI to actually collaborating with a super intelligent partner, a partner that can handle entire complex projects all on its own.
Okay, if that's the goal, a collaborative superintelligence, they must have hit some very specific milestones. What are the concrete targets, the 4 big capabilities Google says they've met?
So they laid out 4 key meta capabilities. The first one is elite reasoning.
Elite reasoning.
This is all about understanding nuance and context deeply. With older models, you had to spell everything out.
The hand-holding.
All the hand-holding. With elite reasoning, you give it a complex, even a vague prompt, something like, compare geopolitical risks of deep-sea mining legislation in 2024 versus 2034.
And it just runs with it.
It executes with doctoral-level depth. No more prompts needed.
That's the difference between asking a college student to do homework and asking a seasoned expert for a full report.
That's a perfect way to put it. The second is fluid multimodality.
We've had multimodal before, right? Text and images?
We have, but fluid is the key word. It means everything is processed natively in one single stream. Text, images, video, code, audio, it's all the same to the model.
So it can connect ideas across different media instantly.
Instantly. It could analyze a video, look at the transcript, and then debug the Python code that generated the video's metadata, all in one query.
Wow.
Yeah.
That completely changes things for data analysis, especially unstructured data like video. Okay, what about the last 2? The ones that make it more of an active collaborator?
The third one is maybe the biggest practical leap, agentic capabilities. This is where the AI stops just answering questions and starts doing things for you.
Acting on your behalf.
Yes, we're talking about it connecting to your other services, your Gmail, your calendar, travel sites, and then executing complex multi-step actions on its own.
That is simultaneously exciting and a little bit scary.
It's transformative.
Oh.
And that leads to the last one, generative interfaces.
Generative interfaces.
This solves a huge pain point for users. Instead of get back a wall of text, the AI figures out the best way to show you the information. It creates dynamic, interactive layouts on the fly.
Okay, let's stick with generative interfaces for a second. That sounds like it fundamentally redesigns how we even get information from an AI.
It really does. It gets rid of what some people call eternal prompts, where you're constantly asking it to reformat things.
So it moves from just consuming information to interacting with it.
Exactly. They gave this great example. You ask it, create a Van Gogh gallery with vital context of each work.
Right.
It doesn't just give you a list of facts. It doesn't just show you static pictures. It generates a full interactive interface,
What do you mean by interface?
like a mini website. High-res artwork, text overlays, and this is the key part, dynamic sliders and filters. So you can sort the art by date or by price or by period of his life, right there.
Wow. So the AI is being a UI UX designer, a content curator, and a researcher all at once. You don't need to export the data into a web builder. The AI is the web builder.
The burden of presentation just shifts entirely to the machine. And these interfaces are supposed to be the visual expression of that agentic power we were talking about.
Speaking of power, how are they rolling this out? What's the lineup look like?
There are two main flavors. Both are built in the Gemini 3 architecture. The main one available right now is Gemini 3 Pro. That's the workhorse.
Okay.
But the really specialized model, the one for deep reasoning, is called Gemini 3 Deep Think.
And Deep Think is 4.
It's designed for the most intense reasoning tasks. Think complex mathematical proofs, theoretical physics problems, things that need, extended multi-stage thinking.
And I'm guessing that one isn't free.
No. That model and the full agent capabilities are for Ultra subscribers, and they're rolling out soon.
Let's go deeper on that agent then, because that's the real test of this whole super intelligent partner claim. What can it actually do on its own?
So the Gemini agent is meant to connect all the separate parts of your digital life. Right now, in testing, it's hooking into Gmail and Calendar.
So you could give it a high-level command.
A very high-level command, like, I need to plan a 7-day trip to Iceland next June, coordinate it with my spouse, and make sure I'm back for my board meeting on the 15th.
That's a lot. That's checking flights, comparing dates, looking at my calendar, emailing someone else to check their calendar, then booking everything.
Across multiple websites, exactly. The agent is designed to handle that entire process, that whole execution, autonomously. It only comes back to you for a final decision or if it hits a wall.
It's moving from fetching information to completing a process.
A whole complex process, yes.
Okay, this is where it gets really interesting for me. I mean, claims are one thing, especially in AI. The proof is in the data. We have to look at the benchmarks.
We do.
But let me just throw in some skepticism here. These are Google's own metrics, right? How much of a grain of salt do we need with these numbers?
That's the essential question to ask. And the answer is, these benchmarks were verified by third-party auditors. Plus, they've been largely backed up by independent AI labs since the launch.
Okay.
So, yes, we acknowledge the source, but the numbers themselves seem to hold up. And they are, well, they're pretty significant.
All right, let's start with raw reasoning power. You mentioned something called the Humanities Last Exam. What is that?
It's a massive, really varied test designed to push pure reasoning without any help from external search tools. On that, Gemini 3 scored 37.5%.
37.5% might sound low to someone not in this space, but we need context here. How does that compare?
That 37.5% is a huge statistical separation. It is over 12 points higher than Grok 4 and 11 points higher than GPT 5.1.
12 points?
12 points. In the world of these frontier models, a 12-point lead in pure reasoning it's astronomical. It means the underlying intelligence of the model has fundamentally improved.
So that puts it way out in front on general intelligence. What about really specialized PhD-level knowledge?
For that, we look at the GPQA Diamond benchmark. This tests understanding in highly technical scientific fields. Gemini 3 is scoring in the 92 to 94% range there.
Which means it's basically operating at a PhD level in those fields.
Essentially, yes, in terms of recall and synthesis.
Let's talk coding, because that's where these agentic abilities should really start to shine.
Definitely. For coding, we look at the SWE bench verified scores. Gemini 3 got a 76.2%. Now, there's some nuance here.
Okay.
In some very specific traditional coding tests, it was slightly below Claude 4.5. But where it just pulls away is in agentic coding.
Its ability to manage a whole project.
Exactly. Understanding, debugging, and fixing things across a large, complex code base autonomously.
So if Claude is maybe better at writing one perfect little function, is Gemini 3 better at building the entire house, managing the plumbing and the electrical all at once?
That is the perfect analogy. Its architectural vision, its execution, the core of being an agent is superior. Developers are already using this on platforms like Google Anti-Gravity to have the AI code entire projects.
What about using real-world tools, like terminals, APIs, the messy stuff?
That's Terminal Bench 2.0. It measures professional-level tool management. Gemini 3 scored 54.2%.
54%? What does that mean in practice?
It means it can reliably use a command line, manage cloud environments, talk to external APIs. Basically, it can operate in the kind of environment a professional software engineer uses every day.
Without needing a human to guide every single step? That's huge for automation.
It really is. And finally, beyond all the raw capability, there's human perception.
Right, what do people actually prefer using?
That's the El Marina ELO ranking. It's basically a head-to-head competition based on user preference data.
And where does Gemini 3 land on that?
It is the absolute leader. It has an ELO score of 1501. That means when you put its answers side by side with competitors, humans consistently say Geminis are better. The quality, the depth, the utility.
So if you put all this data together, the reasoning, the coding, the human preference, Google is claiming a lead in 19 out of 20 major tests against rivals like GPT 5.1, Claude 4.5 Sonnet, and Grok 4.
And that synthesis holds up. According to all the available verified metrics, Gemini 3 Pro has, well, it's swept the floor in the general intelligence and multimodal race.
Right.
It's claimed the crown.
You know, that recognition really lands when you hear the reactions from people like Andrej Karpathy, the former head of AI at Tesla.
Yeah, his joke that Gemini 3 responds before you ask the question is talking with cats. It's a funny way to capture the real sense of awe in the industry. It means the model's internal understanding of the world is so good that its responses feel almost predictive, proactive. We haven't really seen that before.
Okay. We've gone through the very impressive data, but every deep dive needs balance. We have to talk about the elephants in the room, the limitations, the skepticism, the challenges.
Of course. And the biggest one right out of the gate is access and economics.
Right.
The really powerful stuff, deep think and the agent, that's all locked behind an Ultra subscription.
And Ultra is not cheap.
Not cheap. And it's a U.S. first rollout to start. So even though the tech exists, there's a big financial wall to get to the really AGI-like features.
So anyone who wants to use the agent to plan that complex trip or code a project with anti-gravity is going to be paying a lot.
A lot. And this creates a real gap, a capability gap between the people and companies who can afford that ultra-level access and those who can't.
What about the basics? Safety, factuality, even with elite reasoning, it's not perfect, right? Hallucinations are still a thing.
They are absolutely still a thing. Google says factuality is better, about 72% precision in their tests.
But 72% is a long way from 100%.
A very long way.
Yeah.
And we can't stress this enough. You still have to verify. The system's ability to sound authoritative is so high now that you have to maintain a critical eye on any high-stakes output.
And finally, let's touch on the really profound challenge here, the societal one, employment.
Yeah.
If these agents can plan trips, organize inboxes, and write debugged applications, the whole augmenting versus replacing debate is no longer theoretical. It's here.
The debate has absolutely arrived. Google's line is that this is for augmentation. It handles the tedious work so humans can focus on high-level strategy and creativity.
But
when an agent can do the entire job of a junior administrator, or anti-gravity can deliver a huge coding project, the pressure on human skills, especially the entry and mid-levels, becomes immense.
it just speeds up the timeline. If the AI does the execution, the human has to do the strategic direction, the ethical oversight.
That's the shift. And we have to remember, the competition is not standing still. This crown Google has. OpenAI and Anthropic are coming for it. We're expecting GPT-6 sometime in 2026.
So this isn't the end of the race.
Not at all. It's just the end of the lap.
Okay, to summarize this deep dive then, based on all the verified data and these new capabilities, Gemini 3 is, objectively, the most complete and capable frontier model out there right now.
I think that's fair to say.
They've pulled ahead of their rivals, especially in core reasoning and this ability to create dynamic living interfaces.
Agreed. They delivered on those 4 big meta capabilities. It feels less like an update and more like the start of a new era of proactive agentic AI.
And if you are an existing Google AI Pro or Ultra subscriber, you can try this right now. You just go into the Gemini app and select the thinking option.
And that brings us to the final thought we want to leave you with. Think about the speed of this, the acceleration. In just 2 years, we went from AIs that could basically read text and look at a picture to an agent that creates interactive interfaces. and can act on your behalf to organize your entire life.
That rate of change means the rate at which our own skills have to evolve is also accelerating dramatically.
So consider this. Knowing that the Gemini agent can handle complex, multi-step projects, what's the single most complicated, time-consuming task in your life or in your work that you would hand off to it today, right now? And what would that free you up to do?
Think about it, experiment with it, and we'll see you on the next deep dive.